Hello everyone, my name is Heather Autumn and welcome to my channel. So some of you may not know this, but I am the proud owner of a 4-room house. It's massive and spacious. It has a kitchen and a bathroom and everything. The only problem is I have to be about 5 inches to live in it. And if you think, wow, that's like the size of a doll, then that is your first clue of what we're going to today. I am here in very chilly New Bedford, which is south of Boston, about an hour's drive from where I live in Waltham. And I am here at the Kilburn Mill, which is right behind me. And inside this mill is the world's largest dollhouse shop. So I'm going to take you inside and we get to meet the mayor of this very small town. So I'm here at Flip This Dollhouse, and when I tell you that it's overwhelmingly big with such tiny things, it's so cool, and I have to show you each one of them. Later I'm going to be meeting with Nathaniel, who is the owner of the shop, and he's going to show us some of the details and all the work that's gone into this place. I don't know if I'm going to have enough battery life to record everything here. So I got started in dollhouses because my mom got me a 4-room one for Christmas one time, and we went to a dollhouse convention. It kind of went from there. And one of the reasons I liked it so much, especially as a child, is that I couldn't afford my own house. And so the idea of sewing little pillows for it or finding creative ways to decorate it was part of the fun. I also learned how to use Sculpey and Fimo and things like that to sculpt things like food or any little treasures that I wanted to put in there. And it was a really good bonding experience. And I still have that dollhouse even though it's in disrepair, but now I know I can bring it here if I ever want to remodel it. So the rule of thumb for dollhouses is that 1 foot is equal to 1 inch in one of these. Now, some of these homes aren't just little playthings. A lot of them are actually modeled after real life homes that you can find here in New England. But these dollhouses are actually constructed and made just like real houses, right down to the studs that they use in the wood flooring. So this dollhouse behind me, I was able to talk to Bob the builder, who does a lot of the structural work here, and he made this chimney with actual tiny bricks. He said there's about 3,000 of them in there, and just like with real masonry, he had to place each brick individually. So I apologize for the strobing. Some of the lights here that illuminate the homes don't play nice with this camera, and I'm not sure how to fix that, so I apologize. But the artwork and detail in all of these is just phenomenal. So in this, you can actually see these are made of real asphalt like you would use on an actual roof.
My name's Nathaniel Ellis. My shop is actually the largest dollhouse shop in the world. I've been collecting dollhouse miniatures for 22 years, and 14 years ago I decided to turn it into a business, really so that I could keep rescuing dollhouses. So I've been here for 6 years, and I've had thousands of customers from all over the world. Growing up, I was fascinated with old homes and dollhouses. I remember when I was little walking into an antique shop with my dad, and there was a dollhouse that was completely finished inside and out. But I remember opening the front door and like sticking my arm down the hallway and thinking, this is the coolest thing ever. And when I turned 18, I finally had my own money from working, so I started collecting them. And I bought 2 dollhouses and fully finished them. I spent hundreds of hours working on these houses. And then over the years, my private collection grew to 30 houses. That's when I decided I needed to turn it into a business. And in the meantime, I got a business degree. I went back to school for an interior design certificate. Everything that I've done has prepared me for this. So right here is one of my favorites. This is the Queen Anne from Real Good Toys. We spent about 15 months working on this house. When it came in, it was actually built up to this point, but the 3rd floor was so damaged that we had to throw it out. And then I actually had to hire a custom builder to build the 3rd floor. One of the hardest parts was picking what colors were gonna go where. But if you look close, we basically kind of alternated colors, because the idea of the different colors is to show off the detail. So you wouldn't want to make all the different detail the same color. By painting it different colors, you show off the detail. I was really excited when this dollhouse came in. It's one of the biggest houses in the shop. I am so excited to tell you about this dollhouse. About a year ago, I was contacted by a woman who told me her father had built an incredible dollhouse, and they were looking for a new home for it. It had sat on display at the Concord Public Library in Concord, Massachusetts. And the reason it's special is it's actually a replica of a home that Nathaniel Hawthorne lived in the mid-1800s, and he may have even written the Scarlet Letter in it. I guess when he lived in the home, he added on this 3-story tower in the back, and this 3rd floor tower room was his office, his study. I guess he actually named it the Owl's Nest. Before he owned the house, though, the house was owned by Louisa May Alcott. She was the writer of Little Woman. A lot of the stories that are in Little Woman are based on things that occurred growing up in this house. It also was on the Underground Railroad and harbored fugitive slaves. So it's got studs and framing in the walls. The floorboards were laid individually with nails. Usually we just glue them. The electricity was actually run like a real house would be. And I mean, there are probably thousands of hours put into this house. There's probably a couple thousand shingles on this house. He actually built the windows. Usually we order them, but these are actually handmade. They do open and close. But it's got 3 chimneys, it's got real copper flashing. She said it took up half of their living room for 12 years while her dad worked on it. So everything on this house is just perfect. I love knowing the stories behind each of my houses, and I know I could probably tell you a story about every house in the shop, and there are 100 of them, but this one's story is particularly special. So this is actually my favorite dollhouse in the shop. This is the Captain Joseph Angel Mansion from Victorian Times Miniatures. This house would have originally been built in the 80s, and it was a special dollhouse company because they would actually come to your house already built, but as a naked shell. So that means it didn't come with the siding or the shingles or the windows or doors. You had to go out and source all of that. So it made it more of an advanced build because you had to find everything and finish it yourself. The other thing it did is it makes it so there's really no 2 the same. They're all different because everyone did their own thing with them. Like these windows, for example, had to be custom built. All these details here was what they decided to add. It has 3 chimneys up top here. It also has flashing, metal flashing, gutters, downspouts. These downspouts and gutters all would have been custom made for the house. These grids on the windows were custom made for each window. They only fit the window that they're in. So a lot of work, I would say probably over 1,000 hours of work went just into the outside of this house. It's actually got 18 rooms and we completely gutted it, and I designed every room, and we spent months working on it. Hundreds of hours went into the interior. So I'd love to show you the interior of this house. It has over 40 working lights. The lights are actually battery powered. When I design a house, not only do I design the individual rooms to coordinate, but I lay out all the flooring and wallpaper on a table and make sure the whole thing flows. I put these lights on it so you can see inside, but when I pull down the lights, you can see what it looks like with just the battery operated lights on, and I think it's magical. The houses really come to life at night when turn the lights off and just keep these on. Yeah, it takes me like 10 minutes to turn all the lights on because there's over 40 of them. This is our New York Brownstone, and this is really special because it was built by an artist named Bluette Melanie, and Bluette was known for her inlay work, and she taught classes and she did shows. So this was actually a class that she taught called the New York Brownstone. So the class would have come with all the materials to build the house, and she would have taught you how to do it, and then you would have left and gone home with the house when you were done. So it would have been an expensive class to take, but this is how it opens. When I got it in, I realized that it was really special, but it was some sort of business. When I saw the ropes and the brass pieces here, added a desk, and I added a sofa. It's a leather Chesterfield sofa, like something you would see in a therapist's office. So for me, it's a therapist office, and then upstairs above the office is like a little bedroom. So we have the therapist in the corner there, but right here, this is really cool, really rare, a Murphy bed, which probably is common in New York. Behind that, I've got a little bathroom. But what this lady was known for was her inlay work. So this tile is all individual pieces. You can feel it when you run your fingernails on it. She also did recessed lighting, which is rare in this hobby, and she used fabric for her wallpapers. So this is fabric, this is suede, that's fabric. So this dollhouse here is actually the largest dollhouse in the shop. We call it the elephant in the room, or the elephant mansion, because it's so big, but somehow we forget it's there sometimes. It's almost like just a fixture, a piece of furniture in the shop. I acquired this dollhouse probably like 15 to 20 years ago at this point, but it's 22 rooms. It's got 4 floors. Not only does it have 22 rooms, but it also has large hallways in the center of each floor with grand staircases. And I figured out to set this dollhouse up and be able to walk around it and work on it, you need a 12 by 12 foot space. So people contact me about this dollhouse quite often, and they're interested in it, but they don't realize how big it is. So I started telling people it's literally the size of like a small elephant, because they thought it was just like your standard dollhouse. It's a Second Empire Victorian mansion. It was built in the early 80s, and it was originally beige and white and brown. We're changing it to a much prettier color scheme, I think. It's a Victorian, so I thought it deserved more beautiful colors. I think these things deserve to be seen and adored and treasured. So now it does. I've had people come from all over the world specifically wanting to see this house. So that's the elephant in the room. And then this part right here, it sits in a ridge, and you just pull it off like that. Actually, it's hard to get all in one shot sometimes. So yeah, Yeah, we call it the Cinderella Mansion because the lady who built this dollhouse, every dollhouse she built, she modeled it after a different Disney princess. So this was the Cinderella Mansion, and if you watch Cinderella, the castle in the movie was white with a blue roof and gold trim. But this is incredibly custom. I mean, this piece was added on, these windows were added, doors were changed, windows have extra detail, all this trim was added. The original house was called the Newport, probably modeled after a Newport mansion. So the original house would have ended here. She added on a 3-story addition with this beautiful spiral staircase. The staircase is actually metal and wood, I believe. And it was something that she had to build from a kit, and she said it was very difficult to build it and get it just right. So we've been really lucky to have our dollhouses featured on TV and in music videos a couple times. So a couple years ago, we had a dollhouse on the Gilded Age on HBO. This is from the creators of Downton Abbey, and our dollhouse sat in a bedroom of the Elms Mansion in Newport when they were filming. So you can actually see our dollhouse on episodes 6 and 9 of season 1. It sits in one of the young girls' bedrooms. Gladys Russell is her name, and it's a big Second Empire Victorian mansion that they purchased from my shop's museum, actually. I was so excited because Downton Abbey was one of my favorite shows ever, so when I realized who was calling me, I was so excited. Then we had dollhouses on every episode of a show on ABC called The Fatal Flaw. This show was financed by Disney because Disney owns ABC, and it's about real-life crimes. But what they did was they sent me crime scene photos with anything bad blurred out, and we recreated the crime scenes in miniature. So everything that was in that room, we recreated in our dollhouses. So every episode of this show features one of our dollhouses fully furnished and staged by me and my team. And you can watch the show on Hulu now. Last year we had something really big happen. I couldn't believe it. We sold dollhouse furniture that was used in a Taylor Swift backdrop video for her most recent tour. So when she sings the song Bad Blood, there's a video behind her on a big screen where a dollhouse burns down and the furniture inside the house is from my shop. They built the dollhouse as a set piece to be burnt. They didn't steal it from some little girl. And we provided the furniture. And when they sold us the furniture, they couldn't even tell us who it was for because they had signed an NDA. But we figured it out when her tour started, and we were so excited. It doesn't get bigger than Taylor Swift. We have our own website, flipthisdollhouse.com, and we ship all over the country. And we're also on social media. And if you ever see anything on our social media you're interested in, just send us a message. So we're Flip This Dollhouse on Facebook, and we're Flip This Dollhouse MA, as in Massachusetts, on TikTok and Instagram. We're open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Wednesday through Sunday, year-round. We're closed Monday and Tuesdays, year-round.
So it's end of day, the moon is actually starting to come out and everything. And when this place closes down, it literally looks like a little city because all of the lights come on and the houses, absolutely gorgeous. There's actually a clip that I will link in the description below. And speaking of the description below, check that out because I'll have all of the info here. And if you want to purchase any of the houses, there's also all kinds of accessories and things that are made here on site. It's just an amazing little shop. And by little, I also mean very big, as you can see. So this is a travel and food vlog, and if you're into that kind of stuff, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It helps my channel and it lets you know when I have a new video out, which is every Sunday at 3 p.m. So thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week. All right, bye.